nice little break from the league, although you've had a really good October. Let's start with that month of October. Just how important has that been for confidence throughout the team?
Yeah, obviously very important. I think we had a disappointing couple of games before the Barrow game, especially the first half against MK Dons, and there was a couple of things that needed addressing, which I think we did do. And yeah, I think over the balance over the 4 games, the good thing from us is we've had like 4 games where we're unbeaten with 2 wins and 2 draws, and I do believe there's 2 draws we've done enough to sort of win the game as well. So it's not as if we've sort of hung on or we've been lucky to get the point. So that gives us certainly plenty of hope for the season ahead. And I think when you look at it, it's quite interesting because a lot of the teams, I suppose, above the likes of ourselves and Crawley and Newport, etc., and Cheltenham, they've all really struggled in this period. So for as much as us not pulling away from a place of safety, what we have done, and obviously the teams I've just mentioned, is we've dragged everyone else into it.
What do you sort of take away from the month?
I think from a mentality point of view, the lads have stood up and answered a lot of questions. I think there's obviously been a slight change in the shape, which has helped us. But definitely, when you're getting asked questions as a group of people and individuals, when you're coming up with the answers on a regular basis like we have been, it's obviously been pleasing.
FA Cup competition that excites you?
Absolutely. I mean, I love the competition. I love playing in the competition. I love watching the competition as a kid. I've been quite fortunate to have a couple of decent little runs as a player, as a manager. So yeah, I mean the spirit and the joy that the cup can bring to people will never fade from my point of view.
Any sort of favourite memories from managerial career?
Lots. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, like we've had big wins at Oxford against the likes of Newcastle, beating them 3-0. But I suppose that the pick probably was the Swansea game for Oxford in the 3rd round. We had when you look at the team now that played against that Swansea team, you probably understand why we beat them on the day. Because a lot of them went on to play in the Premier League. So that was a good day and very exciting. The one that probably got away was the Middlesbrough game, I think in the 5th round, I think it was, just before the quarterfinals, and we were 2-0 down after about 15-20 minutes, and you're just thinking, God, let's get to half time and try and do something about it. And to be fair, we come out in the second half and pulled it back to 2-2, and they got the winner probably in the last 2 minutes of the game, where we were looking like we were the ones going to go through.
Obviously coming to this game on a nice run of form, but obviously so does South Shields. I know they lost their first game of the season at the weekend, but they've had a really strong start to their National North campaign. No,
absolutely, and obviously they're clearly well backed. I think they're probably one of the only teams, if not the only team in the division, that are full time. So it gives you an understanding of how serious they're taking the situation, and they clearly want to go through the leagues. Play a really good brand of football. Got some good footballers, and look, there's a reason why we're on TV. I'm not stupid. I've been in it long enough, and I've been in these situations long enough where, as a League Two or a League One manager playing at a side a few steps below us. So I'm very aware and fully aware of the situation, and yeah, I'm probably perversely looking forward to it.
The term banana skin is always thrown around, isn't it, in the FA Cup? How do you sort of avoid this being a potential banana skin for you?
Well, I mean, there's no sort of easy written rule regarding it. I think first and foremost we're going to have to play well. But I think the biggest thing that we're going to have to bring on the day more than anything is mentality. The lads have to have the right mentality going into the game and treat it as if we're the underdogs. I've always tried to get that message across to any player, any team, any group of staff. Go into the game like we're the ones who are under the cosh a little bit, and that will be my mentality. That's the mentality I'll try and get over to the players, and as soon as that whistle starts on Sunday, I'd like to think and hope that we're ready and good to go.
Do correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first time you'll take charge of an FA Cup tie where replays aren't even in the question.
Possibly, yeah, possibly.
How do you feel about that?
No, it depends, doesn't it? I suppose it's one of them where obviously if you're the smaller team, I can understand a little bit of the disappointment that you might get from a monetary point of view. But I am a fan of it, if I'm being brutally honest. I think it's one of them where, that's how cup competition should be, and it's the same right up the pyramid to the Champions League. I did prefer the format where it was just a knockout, whether it's one leg or two legs, I did prefer that. That's the whole thing of a cup competition. You don't get a second chance, you shouldn't get a second chance. So I completely understand it, but yeah, I'm actually a fan of not having the replays.
So is extra time and penalties something you discussed this week?
Not necessarily, no. For us, we want to get the job done in 90 minutes if we possibly can. I'm more than comfortable that we've got enough sort of experience and quality in the group that if it come down to an extra 30 minutes and penalties, that we would be able to cope with that.
A midday kick-off on the northeast. Not exactly round the corner, is it? How does that affect preparations?
Well, nothing outrageously different to what we've had a little bit already this season. Obviously, we've had the Tranmere game and Harrogate game, early kick-offs. They clearly haven't gone our way, so we're mindful of that. Listen, we'll go up tomorrow and get up there. Clearly, we're not going to travel on the morning of the game when it's a 12 o'clock kick-off, but we'll be properly prepared. We'll be fully prepared. The only difference is, and I've said this many a times, possibly instead of having chicken, etc., before the game, it might be more scrambled eggs. So I don't fancy a bit of chicken at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, to be honest with you. So yeah, just little things like that, obviously, that are different for the players. But look, it's exciting. It's the reality of what the situation is. I think, is it 4 games that South Shields have had to play to get to this point? Is it 4 or 3? At least 3 games to get to this point. So I think it's a great opportunity for them to showcase themselves, and it's an opportunity for us to get into the next round.
How's Bradley Hogan doing after his surgery?
Yeah, he's okay. His spirits are quite good, considering. I think he was a little bit shocked and sort of devastated at first when he picked up the injury, but I think after numerous conversations with the medical team and myself and people around him, I think he's getting his head around what he needs to do and how he needs to do it.
Is there a sort of timeline on it at the moment?
It could be anything. Like anything, I suppose, with them type of things, it's how you react in the early stages. It could be anything from like 3 to 4 months, but it might be 4 to 6 months. So I can't give you any definitive time, but I suppose like maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks into the rehab, we might have a bit more of an indication.
So is there a potential actually he might just go straight back to Peterborough?
At this moment in time, I think the thoughts and the ideas that he would do his rehab here.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and are they still in contact with you, Peterborough?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Change their manager at the moment. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Obviously, the medical team are speaking to their medical team on a regular basis, yeah.
How's the fitness of the rest of the squad looking?
Okay, yeah, we've got a couple of knocks. We've got a couple of players who are 50-50, from the weekend. So, yeah, today's going to be a big day from that point of view. Obviously, we've got an extra day tomorrow. But if 1 or 2 of them get through the majority of today's session, they should be fine. But there's 1 or 2 who could be in doubt.
No midweek games in October as well. It's weird, isn't it? Having just Saturday. Has that been helpful?
It's definitely been helpful, yeah. I've got to say that. I think it's one of them where obviously if you're picking up some decent results, there's the tendency to want to have the next game quickly. But we've tried to use it to the best of our advantage and get as much stuff on the grass done as we possibly can.
a good contingency going to be following you on Sunday? Early start for them. A word for the supporters.
No, listen. I mentioned. I think I mentioned after the game on Saturday. The fans were brilliant on Saturday. You know, they could have quite easily been very, very disappointed and got after the players after conceding so late, but they didn't. They shown the appreciation and knew the effort that was put in that second half. All we have to do on Saturday is make sure that we give them that in the first half as well, and make sure we start properly. I think they're going to obviously make the atmosphere even better on the day, and you know, these are the type of sort of days and games where, you know, not just fans remember it because they've got to do the bit in terms of the travelling on the day and stuff, but the players remember it as well. So hopefully we can give them a good day.
Best of luck for Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.